This is the first time this has ever been attempted, to my knowledge, and this is not second-guessing or criticizing the trial court. It's just an attempt to explain to the community what we're trying to do. I don't think any prosecutor's ever tried to get a defense counsel removed from a case before, and that's admittedly what we're trying in this case. Our reasons are simple. In the first place, in spite of everything we do, this is going to be one of the most expensive and drawn-out criminal trials in history. There are a variety of reasons. It relates to the length of time it's taking to get a defendant back from Texas. It relates to the number of defendants. It relates to the number of victims. It relates to changes in the law in recent years regarding representation. And that's, of course, one of the major problems we face now. In recent years, the question of representation has become more difficult and more confused, and I have nothing but sympathy for the trial court. If a defendant today says he wants to represent himself, the judge is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he lets the defendant represent himself, very likely on appeal, the appellate court will say, no, he wasn't qualified and you shouldn't have let him represent himself. If you deny him the right to represent himself, then obviously that's going to be made a point of on appeal, and maybe the appellate court will disagree with the trial court. So, as I say, I have nothing but sympathy with the trial court. They're asking the Supreme Court to order the trial judge to hold a hearing relative to the qualifications of Mr. Manson's attorney. We have a number of witnesses, including 8 judges, prepared to testify concerning his competence and qualifications. We think that under the circumstances that the Supreme Court should order a hearing, and we'd like to have the question concerning his qualifications determined in advance of the trial. Nothing is being held up. Meantime, the jurors are being examined. If the Supreme Court rules against us, we've tried. We would much prefer to face this issue relative to the qualifications of Mr. Manson's attorney now than we would 2, 3, 4 years from now.